I shouldn't have been muted. I deliberately unmuted, but I guess not. Hi guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my observatory. It's nice to see you guys all again. How are you all doing? Welcome. Oh, let's do my hellos. Welcome Moose, welcome Nix, welcome Grassfeld, welcome Ghosty. I think that's everybody. Hello guys. Deliberately accidentally muted instead? I hope not. Hello guys, you guys don't tell me you heard me clearing my throat and stuff. I don't know. In any case, welcome back to my observatory. What? Rude. Nobody told me. I trust Moose's word. Moose, my trusted advisor. Okay. And let's get going. I am so excited to continue where we left off. So we've got the mysterious gentlewoman. Hello, Waxo. How's it going? Welcome to the Great Ace Attorney. It's the Ace Attorney series, except it's in Victorian era. You were here last time, though, I think. Ooh! It is warm today. I am a little bit dying. 22nd of November, 11:38 AM, Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendant's Antechamber 5. That's okay, Ghosty. You don't have to cause chaos, just your presence here is nice enough. I was getting my curry at the time. Ooh, what kind of curry? Nothing quite like summer starting to arrive. I like summer, but I also die a little bit during summer. Streaming is hard during summer, partly because my computer tends to overheat a lot more. Poor baby. Poor little darling black-cased lad. Gets very hot in the summer. But also no aircon sucks. Ooh, Joe Freezy, very nice. It definitely is starting to hit now. I don't know how hot it is right now, but it certainly feels like low 20s maybe, and it's the first time it's been low 20s for a while. Maybe even, I don't know, what temperature is it for me? Let's find out. 22 degrees! I was gonna say 21, so 22 makes sense. You can feel that extra degree. So, last time we left off, our boyfriend here met us in a cafe, we had a coffee, he left, we stayed. There was a man at a table with a woman. She was eating a steak and they had a drink of something between them. There was a old antiques dealer and a military man who has a baby in court. He doesn't have the baby, but he is like carrying the baby. His aura is overwhelmingly wiggly. It's true. And we are being accused of killing the man, the professor, because we held a gun in his vicinity shortly after a gunshot went off. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. That was superb! Oh, and we found out there was a woman that the people had been bribed to shut up about. Possibly an English woman, most likely an English woman, but definitely a foreigner. Ugh, my heart was in my mouth the entire time. In the front from behind him, yes. It's almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. Kazuma! Be nice! It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you'd started finding inconsistencies in the testimony. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it, it's terrifying. If I get through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again. Oh, buddy, I have bad news about the game series you're in. Anyway, it looks like we've exposed your phantom lady at last. Miss Giselle Brett. Student from Great Britain, is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along. Yes, you have, haven't you? Might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing that I'm sure of. Yes, I can see that. So, about this young gentlewoman. Thanks to our detective friend, she is hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't see any of it. Hang on, I just remembered something. 1 second, I'll be right back. I have returned. I'm here, it's fine, everything's fine. Hi. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself, and then on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor. Yes, my people needed me. And just after I bent down and picked it up. Bang. I don't need a potion to Noom. I can Noom all I want. The waiter ran over to me, looking white as a sheet. And he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to my kitchen. Next to the kitchen, not my kitchen. Fast thinking by the detective, he apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside in the dining area. Ah, there you are. Well done, both of you. Oh, is this the other professor? Yeah. This guy is the one who made me take the stand as my own defense. Professor Mikotoba! Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. Exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so that I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy, our justice system even more so. Yes, we're gay. Which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I wanted to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference. Lawyer or otherwise, I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis. Hang on, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life, I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What? What are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Kazuma? Well, then it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes, you need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place at that restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. I hate it. I feel their eye contact through the monitor. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. You do, sir. Oh, is it his, the professor guy? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UME. And it was I who invited him. Oh, shit! A little bit sus, actually. I didn't know that before. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. Let's not forget who we're going up against. The Gentlewoman, whose involvement our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. I've no doubt that you pair will put up a good fight right to the last. Best of luck. Thank you! Now then. I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need. Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. Excuse me? No good luck for me? I'm the one doing everything here. Defendant Naruhodo. Court recess is over. Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once. It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow. Before those old fossils know what hit them. I really like his theme. Kazuma. Hello, Tide Weirdo! Welcome, welcome! What is going on? We are just about to start the second half of our trial. We are being accused of murder. We are our own defense in place of our friend Kazuma here, who was going to be our defense and is instead, like, our assistant. An Englishman was murdered. He was shot in the front. We are being accused of it because we held a gun nearby him when a gunshot went off, even though we didn't fire the gun. And we don't even know if he was dead when we picked up the shot. Like, we have to assume that he was already dead. There's some weird stuff, like a gentlewoman whose presence was hidden by the police because cops are bastards. The fact that this... Hang on, that's not what I meant to do. The fact that this... No. The fact that this picture of him doesn't really show much blood at the entry wound of the bullet, which is weird, and to me implies that he was already dead. The fact that he had apparently eaten a steak, despite the fact that he was not able to eat or drink due to a dentistry appointment that he had had earlier that day, not only an hour before his death, where he had a tooth removed and was still under the effects of anesthesia. Feel bad for missing the last few teams? Don't feel bad, but welcome back. It's lovely to have you. We're starting a new Ace Attorney game. This is the Ace Attorney series, but set back in the Victorian era. This was the dentist report, so we knew what had happened to the guy. Long story short, everything is going on. There is mystery, intrigue. Someone's framing us and has likely killed him, and then framed a different killing. Yes. Most likely. And we are apparently going to be meeting this mysterious gentle lady whose presence has been hidden from us. What for? Well, if you hadn't said you'd believe me, then I'm fairly sure I'd have already been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer, and as a friend. Coming from you, that means a lot. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Danganronpa has trained me for this? Hell yeah! Alright then, I'll save the thank yous for after the trial. I'm also like 80–90% convinced that Kazuma is going to die in the second case. I don't know this, but I am like 90% certain based on various different clues. You can treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from the Yume cafeteria on University Street. With an extra large portion, of course. Also, he's our boyfriend. We keep calling him our best friend, but he's definitely our boyfriend. Yeah, he's so gonna die. Well, the thing is, right, he's taking the position of the mentor role, which in the first trilogy, the mentor role dies in the second case. He is far too competent to be able to school us through every single case that we go on, otherwise every case would be a tutorial case. And in the promotional art for the game, our character is carrying his sword with his headband tied around it. And if that evidence doesn't say this guy dies, I don't know what does. The court hereby resumes the trial of Ryunosuke and Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I can say words and names. Prosecutor Aochi, have you managed to subpoena the witness? Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. And thanks to a certain young stripling, pardon, the prosecution is now under a rather painful scrutiny from the government. Ugh, sorry. But yeah, we've also delayed the case for so long that we're not going to be able to get a telegram off to the, to London in time for the case to be over by today, even though they want it to be over as soon as possible. Is it a case like Danganronpa where killings follow a similar pattern to previous games, or is it new patterns? It's usually new patterns. But it's... So this is just like a brand new series following ancestors of characters from the main storyline, mostly. And I'm seeing parallels between this guy and Mia from the first game. Spoiler alert! She dies in the second case! Let the government scrutinize, that's their job. It's nothing to worry about. It's highly unlikely that the good relations we forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. Will you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down and our nation founders? Do you mean flounders? Is that a typo there? Again, terribly sorry. British, yeah. Innit? If the friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke. He does, he does. What do you mean? Every time I see Aochi, like, the way that his hair is modeled, it just looks like a tiny personal, like, electric razor, like a beard trimmer. Look at him next time you see him, it kind of looks like he's got a beard trimmer on his head. Secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, a bungled investigation, missing witnesses. Is this what our nation's justice system is? I know it's just a samurai bun, I know it's like an actual proper hairstyle, but it's the specific way that it's modeled that it looks weird. That's the only reason. Like, it's not the hairstyle that's a problem, but it's the way that it's modeled that makes me think of it. Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of England, or of Japan, or of England? Sorry. It's the spikes. Shut up! Shut up, you jumped up rookie boy! Thank you. You and your friend know nothing! Nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. By aligning ourselves with this great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never become more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures. I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student, and one who could arguably study harder too. Standing here now in our Supreme Court, there's one thing that I feel very strongly. The animation he had was very unrealistic. Oh yeah, without nudging his glasses, yeah. He's practiced. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Oh, ballsy. Well said, Ryunosuke. Despite the wide-eyed look of terror. You little brats! Hello, Raz. Nice to see you. Thank you, Council. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system and exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Giselle Brett. Here she is. Yes. Ow, that sounded painful. Your Excellency! Oh my god, holy shit. That is a hat! Ooh, the music. Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan, and from such a distant land.
The world is a mess, and I just...
Ah! Welcome back, Raz! Holy fuck! Almost a baby. Almost a sub-baby. She's very obviously British. Yeah, she kinda is. Tea! Someone bring English tea. In England, no discussions take place without tea. Can confirm. Is that true? Oh dear. So, could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court? Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. We know your name, bitch! I have been working undercover as the head waiter at La Carnival, but my— Yes, we know all about you already. Inspector Hosonaga, where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first. Is that true? No idea. These fucking, oh, there's a term for it now. Like, English weeaboos. Like, people who obsess over English people. And have their details of their culture all wrong. This is how foreigners see British people. It definitely is during the Victorian era, to be fair. This is the Victorian era. Tea-a-boo, that's it! More importantly, a little earlier today, you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are the one thing you're sure of. Oh, yes, I think I did, didn't I? Yet your description for this amazing sight was simply a woman? Shit, he got me there! He sure do got me there! Sorry, Runescape, but powers of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking. Don't look at me like that. His gay cousin— Guilty. You know what? True, Raz, he is gay. He was just like, yep, that's a lady. But once things are flipped, he is gay and this man is bisexual. Oh, thank you for the hydrate. I shall do that now. Thank you. So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. Oh my gosh. Right, she's speaking English. Cursive speaking. It's better than what was it from the other what was the name of the fake country in Investigations? I don't remember, but they had like symbols, hieroglyphics practically. Ooh, stretch! Hello, Gebu! Thank you for the well wishes. Thank you, and thank you for the stretch. I shall do that now. Let's do a big stretch all the way up to the ceiling. And then all the way out to the sides. And then one hand in front of us as if we're saying stop. Pull our fingers back towards our bodies. And then again on the other side. And then we're going to put our left fist out like we just punched somebody and pull it down towards our bodies. And again with the other side. And shake your hands out. You're gonna need a stretch emote? I could do that. I think we have an emote space. That's actually a really good idea. If anybody has suggestions for emotes, like, you're welcome to field them, because let me take a look. Let me take a look-see real quick. We have, well, we have tier emotes available, and we have 2 animated emotes available. So animated emotes are the main thing right now, I guess. We need to get 50 subscriber points to be able to get another standard emote slot, which is... we only have 17 right now. Oh, he's gonna be acting as translator, I see. The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. See, I'm not sure I trust you, because you worked with her to hide her identity from the scene. So the fact that you are translating for her concerns me a little bit. She's a visiting research student, currently enrolled in New University's medical faculty. Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones, the delightful language of the British people. Ow! Ah, I see you found that Take That is now available. Yes, we have exclamation mark throw on at the moment. Although I think the subs for it weren't working, so don't, you know, don't expect to see them for subs at the moment. They weren't working last stream. They probably aren't working this one. Ow. All this about the British people. Can't you wait until we end up in Britain, which I'm pretty sure is a thing that happens during this game? I'm afraid I don't understand a word that you said, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird song. As far as I can tell. The detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Okay, okay, that's good. Yes, I agree. You'll obviously do fine in England, Kazuma. Her English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Ryunosuke. If I can understand English... Sorry. If I could understand English, I, the character who is the main player, I should be able to understand her language when she speaks. But fine, I get it. Also, rude. The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. I love how often these two flirt together. I mean, Kazuma literally did say that he didn't think that, like, he was sad that we thought he couldn't get us off. Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. Yeah, in the first section of the game, he was talking about, like, getting us, you know, declared innocent, but he did use those words, and I'm like, that has to have been a deliberate choice, right? Like, they had to know what they were doing. 3 days ago at a restaurant called La Carnival, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct? I bet she understands. She's studying here. Surely she knows Japanese. Like, at least some. Doesn't she? Yeah, she does. She says yes! I'm not sure she did, actually. This could take some time. Even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese. Yes, thank you, Kazuma, for saying what we're all thinking. It's gonna be, she says no, isn't it? She'd like to, okay. She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting. When you're the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the Bureau. Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print? Look at this photograph! Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps? She's not even looking at it. Apparently, it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight. Someone's been murdered. My schedule, though. Yeah, for real. Do you mean to say? Yes, it would appear the lady did witness the crime. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in this courtroom, dicks, shit, shot the victim in cold blood, dicks. I mean, who didn't expect this? My god, that dress. Order! Order in the court! Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement. I just saw a murder, boo-hoo, I have something else to do. Yeah, for real. Not exactly living up to the fair English lady stance, are you? Well, it looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Oh, yeah! Get it! Get it, Kazuma! Unfortunately, I will have to ask you to formally testify, if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described. This is gonna be weird. The British! Truly, the British are our common enemy. Frightening and sorrowful sight. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only, a beef steak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor and they got into a fierce argument. Oh. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. I feel like the argument would have been mentioned before. Lots of tiny beer barrels, I can see it. You've got to carry a stash with you. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit. Cinnamon buns! Yes! No! Wait! Yes! No! I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all. Fucking pain. Sorry, ouchie. Quiet, you filthy wretch! Yes! Wait, no! Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard. You and this Snow White angel. I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine those words in whose words in court is going bleh. I could do this, hang on. I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine whose words the court is going to believe. Nailed it, first try, didn't even have a problem with it. Nobody can say otherwise. There is no evidence. Ugh. I'm still making the same mistakes, Reinosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. It's a lesson you need to learn. No, stop! Shush! There's nothing to clip. Ugh, but he's so annoying. He really is. Of course, I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and the two witnesses who testified before and reported back to the Bureau. Decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I let her go. Testimonies of the last two witnesses were completely worthless. Well, even so. On the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there's nowhere about her person where she could conceal a firearm? Are you kidding? I'm sorry. Excuse me? How about the giant bustle? The hat? There are so many places for her to conceal a firearm. It's so true. I would think she could. Thank you, Ryunosuke. Thank you. I would think that she could hide a gun almost anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to. Unless and until the precise location where the witness is to have hidden a weapon can be shown, this is moot. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. That's not quite how pockets worked in the Victorian era, but okay. Those are the witness's own words on the matter. Oh, that's ridiculous. If only I was allowed to lift her dress. Ryunosuke. Don't think about doing anything rash, Ryunosuke. Kazuma continues to read our fucking minds. But I didn't fire the gun I picked up. There must have been another gun there that day. I'm right about that, which means this lady is hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's what we have to prove now. To do so, we will need to pull her testimony apart. Ooh, dramatic zoom. Bitch! The defense may now cross-examine the witness. She did! Oh, yes, Your Excellency. I'm gonna kick her ass. I'd arranged to meet for a slightly late lunch. I didn't see anywhere in here that I could actually, like... I don't think I have any evidence that... Well, I guess this. Like, the fact that his food is on his side of the table rather than anything. So I guess we'll try that, and if that doesn't work, we'll just have to press everything. Here. You. How about this photo? Yes! Does this mean anything to you? Music's still going, which is a bad sign. Okay. Yeah, we fucked it up. There is definitely something untoward about that evidence, however, you're not going to accept it yet, that's fine. Ooh, funky noise, that was cool. It's just my look. Just my vibes, huh? Okay, let's go back to the beginning and press her on everything. Well, let's press her on this first. I never got into an argument with the professor. All I did was, when I noticed him, was go over to say hello. Please, don't get angry with me. No, I wasn't directing that retort at you. It was meant for the lady next to you. But anyway, as I said, I did not argue with the professor. I'm afraid your words are in vain. Sorry? Miss Brett does not appear to speak Japanese. No, of course not. Japanese is such a cumbersome language anyway. Wow. English is the future. We must all speak English. Oh. This is painful. I wonder if the prosecution will feel that way forever, or only in the presence of a beautiful woman. Hmm? How can you tell she's beautiful? Well, that beautiful woman is telling blatant lies with a completely straight face. I have to find something that will unravel her testimony, no matter how seemingly insignificant it may be. I love Kazuma too. He's great. I'm sad he's definitely gonna die in the second game. The second case. Anyway, it seems that after the argument, the accused briefly returned to his own seat. That part ties in with what you said, doesn't it? Yes, I still had some coffee to drink. Next time you got up after that, when I'd finished my coffee and I stood up to leave. Wait, hold up! Oh, right. When I'd finished my coffee and stood up to leave. I got confused because of his motion. I thought that he was the one saying that. I was like, wait, what? Look at a little smirk. Then not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes.
Yes!
Yes, I did! Wait, no. Like I said, I did not shoot that gun. And like I said, there's no point repeating that assertion over and over. Sorry, Kazuma. Oh, I wasn't expecting to be attacked by my own side. Nevertheless, defendant, you can't deny that when the shot rang out in the restaurant, you had a gun in your hand. Well, yes, that's true, but yes, I said I didn't shoot. His like pathetic little slaps get me every time. Sweet boy, let me love you. But all I did was pick up the gun I saw on the floor next to the professor as I was leaving the restaurant. In fact, yes, there was someone much closer to the victim than me at the time, the highly suspicious lady in... That will do, you dirty, rotten scoundrel! Dirty? I'm not denying that I'm a scoundrel and that I'm rotten, but dirty? Your baseless accusations could very well cause an international incident, boy! Seems to me that your accusation is just as baseless as ours. What nonsense! The lady is merely stating what she saw. Oh, she is such, what's her name? How have somehow I always forget her name. Not Iris, the other one. Dahlia! She has such Dahlia vibes. This is already an international incident as far as I'm concerned anyway. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit. I meant to press that. Well, she's maintaining that you got into an argument with the professor at the end of which you shot him, which is an out-and-out, totally unfounded lie! Still, her statement is very compelling. After all, she's an elegant, refined, young and beautiful gentlewoman from Great Britain. In stark contrast to you, dressed head to toe in dull black school uniform. Just exactly the same way you are, except for the flapping red ribbons. I love how it's like confirmed that these are constantly going in some unknown breeze. He's so dramatic. Well, anyway, this is our only chance to expose her testimony as the fiction that it is. If we can't do that, then the trial's over. They float in the power and the spirit of law. Even if even you with your thick skin must be able to feel the murderous looks you're getting from around the room. Only too well. Feel half dead already. And the fact that I can't see a single inconsistency in her testimony isn't making me feel any better either. First thing to do is to press her on any of her statements that seem even slightly off to you. I'm mad that I didn't press that last statement. Probably going to be important. Do that and an opening will present itself, I promise you. I need to expose the true face of this exotic foreigner that's hiding behind the mask. That's what I should be aiming for in this cross-examination.
Yes!
After 2 PM, in fact. That's really quite a late lunch, isn't it? You don't keep up with the latest fashions from Britain, do you? Late luncheons are in vogue, isn't that right? No. Ugh. Get fucking wrecked, ouchie! A decisive English no has quite a sting to it. The gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems. So it was apparently a daily occurrence that they would lunch together. But on the day in question, the victim had another appointment at the clinic first. Yes, which we can prove from the medical report card that was submitted as evidence earlier. Denied, simp! So true. That's right. Miss Brett and the victim went to lunch following the victim's treatment, which is why it was so late. Yes, that all makes perfect sense. Such wonderful logic! What a shining example of English intelligence this fine gentlewoman is! Ugh. So you both arrived at the restaurant. What happened next? Professor was unable to eat, so I ordered myself only a beefsteak. He was unable to eat, you say? And that was because he had just had a tooth removed at the Hotter Clinic, correct? You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering? Was Miss Brett aware of that fact? Seems so, yes. She'd heard that the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean that it was you who ate the steak pictured here, is that right, Miss Brett? Or rather, half ate it. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying event. Exactly as it was left? Oh, add that to your testimony. Add that to your testimony, please, baby. Because I have something that says otherwise. I've travelled to a distant island on the far side of the world and been embroiled in such a tragic incident. Like, that inconsistency still hasn't been explained. The glass, yes, exactly. I swear I will crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this terrible plight. So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all? That's right, other than some carbonated water. Aha! Yes, the professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. So it appears that the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. Each, you say? They each raised a glass of carbonated water? What do you think, Ryunosuke, about the witness's last statement? It's very meaningful. Bessie, the last statement of yours, Miss Brett, has a profound bearing on this case. Well, well, how fascinating. Do tell us, what is this profound bearing, hmm? Significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. The defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony. Thank you! Well sidestepped, counsel. Very well, Miss Brett. Kindly repeat what you just said to be added to your testimony. Gladly, she said. It was brilliant, Kazuma. I'm gonna remember that one. Which one? The significance will become apparent when the time is right? I could really use that phrase. I'd hope there are some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that, Ryunosuke. Kazuma, don't be mean to me! I love you! I ordered a beefsteak for myself and the professor and I said cheers over a glass of carbonated water. Oh, did you now? Because I'm seeing only one glass of water present in this photograph.
Yes!
Disappointed top noises, he really is. That's it! Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. And it was exactly as it was left. That is correct, the lady says. This is an interesting music. Well, it's odd. Very odd. Dear me, what's odd is the defense's inability to express itself. Ugh. Ryunosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously it's the cheers. The cheers? Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here. Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutiae? Minutia? Minutia. What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on this case?
Objection!
Minutia, you say? Hang on, one sec. I want to see. Aww. Don't tell me it doesn't let me... I was really hoping we would be able to, like, play it in Japanese. Doesn't look like we can. Well, I mean, I might as well save the game while I'm here. Would be under gameplay? I didn't see it. That's the thing. Yeah. Oh well. Could it be that the detective here removed a glass from the table in order to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. There should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you going to try to tell me that you can clink with only 1? You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. She disposed of one of them! Inspector, what did the lady say? It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. Sussy! Sussy! It was so terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and I thought I should try to hide the fact that I'd been there at all, she's saying. But the stake! That makes no sense! Sorry. There, as I assured the court before, this is of no consequence at all. Oh, please. We must remember that this student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or 2 in her state of disarray? That's absurd. Oh, really? So do we take it that you are now going to accuse this vulnerable, young and beautiful woman of mischief? Yes, I declare mischief upon her. Ew, what's happening to the model here? Gross. I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. This guy's cheekbones are really slaying, right? Like, it would seem that she slipped it into the small handbag she was carrying. The small handbag, you say? The small handbag that could hide a gun? Handbag, you say? Yes, Your Excellency, a small hand-held pouch commonly carried by well-to-do women in England. Ooh! I've got you now, bitch! Ow! Ow. Rude. I was having a moment there, Raz. So the beautiful lady has very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. This student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning, but in the end it comes to nothing. You and your logic and reasoning. No more pretentious accusations. You have wasted enough time already. Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed her glass, or this glass. I think henceforth we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Are you in agreement? No, actually. So she took the glass away in her handbag. See the significance there, it's the handbag. Right? Wait, the lady put her glass in a handbag, you say? Yes, do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags for small items, like guns. Let me see, a little while ago Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what if she forgot to mention? What she forgot to mention was her handbag. Oh, bestie, have some more conviction, in which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. You're right. Well, what if I just replace every time he says partner with babe? Well done, babe. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that too. What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard? It's really very simple. I think we should just arrest Ouchie. God. It would be so satisfying. Really very simple. Gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. If he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce that there must have been another firearm at the scene. A true murder weapon, if you will. You can't seriously be suggesting... Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Did you or did you not search Miss Giselle Brett's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir, I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag. No! He's guilty of incompetent simping. So true. If only that were a jailable offense. Just a brief aside. I adore the rendering on this thing. This, like, decanter. It's gorgeous. Like, it's beautiful. It's very gorgeous. I love it. Every time we cut to the judge, my eyes are drawn to it and I'm like, ah, that's very well drawn glass. When her claim was there were no rooms for gun because it was stuffed with stolen glasses. Yeah. What is the meaning of this, Inspector? The meaning of what, Prosecutor Archie? The meaning of your incompetence. Why on earth do you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? It's so lewd. You asking her to open her handbag? Goodness me. Goodness me, Archie. How inappropriate. Thanks to your bungling incompetence, she now has to endure these uncomfortable accusations. How indecent, exactly. Brilliant work, babe. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Do you think so, Cosma? Oh, he's dying. He's dying! Don't die, I love you. I mean, I hate you, but I love you. I love your design. Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police. I don't, actually. You're right on the money there, actually. Not gonna lie. As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting. Simply because... it was unnecessary. Unnecessary in what way? I ought to thank the student lawyer, really. What's his angle here? What's he about to drop on us? I have a piece of evidence here that I'd completely forgotten about. Of course you do. Oh! This is interesting, because that is the mark that's on the stake. I'm not sure if it's in this picture, but I know it's in this picture. Yes! Meaning that he was sat here and he had his arm. Oh, he was dead at the time. This is like he couldn't feel it burning into his hand because he was dead at the time. Although I guess... Oh, I see his argument that it's a lace handbag that you can see into. That makes sense. This is the real sussy picture though. There's printers of a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. You're telling me you didn't realize she had taken the glass? You said you didn't know what had happened to the glass, but it's literally right there. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag. Well, I never. You can see right through to what's inside. That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags like these are the height of fashion in London at the moment. So the contents are clearly visible. Exactly. So there was no need to search the lady's handbag. I love that that's like the Victorian equivalent of those like balloon-ass backpacks from the 90s, which are completely transparent. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. Ah! As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. Oh, the fact that they did that in sync, that was cute. Thank you for helping prove that, Naruhodo-san. Bestie, no! Kazuma's so concerned. Order, order! Inspector Hosonaga, you will submit that print as evidence at once. Thanks for the new piece of evidence, jerk bags. Yeah, just gives us more stuff to do. Certainly, Your Excellency. Look at this photograph. I think you've had long enough to cross-examine the witness counsel. I don't think I have, actually. Court has now been shown considerable evidence. Oh shit. As the photographic print just submitted to the court record appears to have no further significance, I'm satisfied that there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter. I must make my ruling. No, bitch. Stop! Stop! Only one logical conclusion, that the pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime. Oh. No. Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around. I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start. Kazuma? Sorry, Ryunosuke. Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. What? You mean, this is it? I knew that something looked weird about him. His flowy headband stopped flowing. I must say, you put up quite a fight for a rookie student, but the weaker meet while the strong eat. You are wasting your time. There's no way to defeat true justice. A fact you can chew on in your heart to your heart's content from the inside of your cell. This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? And Kazuma. Look, things are sad! It's sad! His dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Kazuma. What? There really no chance now of turning this trial around? You heard the judge. Nothing about that last photo the detective produced that we can contest. Which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. And we're like, this is horrible, our boyfriend's dream won't come true. It's so true. And meanwhile he's like, this is horrible, my boyfriend's going to jail. Wait, no! Object! We'll now proceed immediately to the ruling. Seems we'll be able to report to the British government on time after all. Smug little. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, having considered all of the evidence placed before me, I hereby find you Wait, Your Excellency! Ryunosuke? I don't think that you can rule on this case yet. Oh, the swell of the strings. This amateurishness is getting tedious. Oh shit. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling. This is the most basic protocol of the courtroom. Well, what? How? Did he always have this? Your Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. I think we just never saw it. As the photographic print you just submitted to have as the photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance. There's no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now, that means that if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail, I mean... Yes, it's there. I just never noticed it before. Then the ruling on the case at this time would be out of the question. This is blatant straw clutching. Look at this photographic print. All it shows is the handbag the gentlewoman was carrying on the day in question. Actually, bitch, it shows something else. Better know what you're doing, Ryunosuke. It's my powers of observation! Certainly, the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court's scrutiny. However, I failed to see just how we can glean any new information from this handbag. Ha! My thoughts exactly! Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes. I'll show you desperate wheezes, ouchie! Yes, I am desperate. But this isn't a wheeze. I ain't wheezing yet, boy! I mean, the main suspicion would be why would his hand have been resting on his plate if he's not the one who had food? Yes, also this. Something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. If only I could put my finger on it. What about your hand? Can we put your hand on it? Very well, I will grant the defense one final opportunity. But I bet there are people out there who are like horny for pain. Like the pain line of characters. Okay, I don't want to meet them. I don't think it's a burn, I think it's just a dent. Maybe? No, because the thing is, it's a steak, and it's probably like on one of those cast iron things. Like the way that the plate looks, it looks like when you get something they're like, I warn you, this is extremely hot. It will burn you if you touch it. It's like a wooden thing with a cast iron plate in the middle. What? Oh, hello, new judge animation! Be warned that if I am unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. A metal bowl to keep the steak warm or something? Yeah. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Your Excellency. So, take another look at the photographic print Inspector Hosonaga submitted before. You will identify for the court where in this print we see the significant detail to which you have alluded. Right here, baby.
Yes.
Look at this, here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist. I think that he was dead and he was, like, propped up in his chair. It's almost like a burn of some description, and that's why when he was shot he didn't bleed, because he was already, like, long dead at the time. It's like a burn of some description. She knows! She knows! Dear me, I was pondering what new piffle you might come out with. A piffle? Really, ouchie? Piffle? A burn, you say, on the victim's wrist? Clearly, that has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag. Well, not with the handbag. It's a burn mark, you're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report.
What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we?
Yes, we do, actually.
And no possible way of knowing either.
Bitch! The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. However, as Prosecutor Ouchie points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn. Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Brent has a lunch appointment with the Dean and other university staff. No, you don't! No, you don't! You don't get out of it! She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now.
Oh, of course, dear lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway.
What's your thinking on this, Ryunosuke? Do you believe this burn has something to do with the case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. I am! If I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging in the hopes that I might uncover something useful. Yes, you're right. I am! If we can just link that burn to the case. If we can do that, we might be able to prise this shutting door back open again.
Just give up, Counsel. You can't possibly hope to do that.
Indeed, I'm afraid that without evidence I can't allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture. But if we had evidence that irrefutably linked the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then you would allow it? I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the colour draining from Miss Brett's face! Really? I have to find some link between that burn and the case. This is the moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves what that burn really means. So then, the defense will now present its evidence to the court. The evidence that demonstrates an inextricable connection between the victim's burn and this trial is this crime scene photograph.
Yes!
What's this, Counsel? Yet another print? Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at a scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded evermore.
Do hurry up, rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady any further would really be quite inexcusable.
Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer if you don't mind, Miss Brett. Got you now. You see, it's very clearly visible in this photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How?
You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean.
Right here, baby.
Yes!
The beefsteak.
Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on. You okay? Gee, shit! So true! He's sweating.
Your Excellency, are you alright?
As you can see, there is an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of Le Carnival. Ah. This emblem on the plate. And the victim's burn are exactly the same shape. Oh, I mean, to be fair, Raz, we were bluffing. We just so happened to fall ass backwards into the correct thing. Very, very, Phoenix Wright thing to do. You can tell this is his ancestor. Are exactly the same shape. Ryunosuke, you genius! Oh, thank you. Oh, the music! You're spot on! Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant. Come on, I need her to, like, talk to me. I need to see her eyes, man. I don't get to see her eyes and when we mad. But even if that isn't the case, that is the case. We can't know that it happened on the day in question or not. It could have been the day before or the day before that. It most likely happened some other unrelated time. Surely your, coroner would have known, like, how old the burn is, but sure. Well,
Objection!
Sadly, Prosecutor Ouchie, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks. Why? The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Oh, of course! Any other time that had happened, he would have, like, jumped up and shouted, people would have noticed, but because he was dead at the time, or at least under anesthetic, can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly. But I would say, and that's such a tender spot as well to burn. I've got burned from that place, it really hurts. I discovered a new scar on myself recently. I was like, how the fuck did that happen? There's just a scar over the back of my hand. No idea how I got it. Must have been a burn. Looks kind of like a burn mark. Very thin. Don't know what happened. I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. It's inconceivable the victim wouldn't at least let out a scream of pain then. I've been investigating. I bet you she poisoned the water. Somehow. And that's why there was like a glass half left. Like she left her untouched glass and took the empty one that he drank from. Investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already. I hadn't heard anyone scream at all. As the head waiter of La Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation. But you're a detective, not a waiter! He's so tall! Holy shit, I literally only just, like, recognized how fucking tall he is. At least compared to her. Either he's very tall or she's extremely short. As the detective said, anyone who burnt themselves tripping on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. It's hot drink, thank you. I mean, his name means tall and slim. You know what? True. There's no question of that. Yet Inspector Hosonaga never heard the professor scream, not on that day or any before it. That's right. And the strange thing is, on the day that he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day, I bet what they'll— okay, so I bet what they're gonna try and do— I'm calling this now. I bet what they're gonna try and do is be like, oh, he was under anesthetic, therefore he didn't feel the pain of the burn, therefore blah 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 blah. To which I'm gonna say, bitch, he wasn't eating that steak. Why would his hand be on it if he wasn't eating that steak? It would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel. I see how this game works. I know how they're gonna go. The rest of us in this restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antiques dealer, all of us would, without any question, have heard him scream. This is such a new look. Hello, I like this angle on you, Ryunosuke. Wouldn't you agree, Professor Ouchie? Look at me, I've gotten so confident. Well, yes, I suppose. So the question is, Why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? I almost don't believe it. Ryunosuke, do you think... This music is great. This music is very good for, like, making me feel... Oh, look at this, like, slow pan that's going on. I never dreamt we'd arrive at a conclusion like this, but... I wonder how long it would go for. I wonder when the stopping point is on this pan. I'm starting to think that maybe... Hang on, I kind of want to see. How far can we pan? Can we get out of frame? We're getting real close! Ah, there it is. I'm starting to think that maybe we've been led into a terrible trap. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson hadn't noticed the burn, was asleep, was already deceased. This is my thinking. This could also be an answer because of the anesthetic, but I'm gonna go with or was already deceased. No man could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible. Apart from one particular situation. Counsel, are you suggesting? Yes, it's only possible if the man was already dead.
Oh, already?
Dead? She knows. Knowing what we know now, it's the only possible explanation. I would also, to support my claim, I would also like to point out how the victim did not fucking bleed when he was shot in the chest. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead. Which would easily explain why there was no blood splatter. Yes, exactly. Madness! Ooh, the organs. Order, order, please! Counsel, explain this absurd notion at once. The victim was killed by a gunshot. Or was he?
That's right. That's absolutely right, Your Excellency. This is just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student, but clearly he has no grasp of the facts.
No, Prosecutor Ouchie, it's you who has no grasp of the facts. He really just pulled like Uno reverse card and just no you.
I beg your pardon!
As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered that burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet? Your Excellency, the court must hear from this witness again. If it is true, as we now believe, that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard, it's highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. Incredible. I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, but you will have to forget your luncheon engagement.
But Your Excellency!
A murder trial is a touch more important, wouldn't you agree? The justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I'm prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency. Is she gonna speak? Is she gonna actually speak? Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. You liar! You liar! Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours. Miss Brett, you speak Japanese? The sweating. Well, of course I do. I am studying in your country after all. Why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now? My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tones as much as possible. It so is not, we assure you. But it seems that the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of the English gentlewoman, or English gentleman. So I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your level. Oh, well, you are the epitome of a true English gentlewoman. We are truly honoured by this, and this lavish consideration you so graciously afford us. In that case, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. We're finally going to hear her own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke. The victim's death. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible causes of death, besides the gunshot. God, this voice is probably the most difficult one I've done so far. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please, do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably won't pick up on it anyway. She literally just told us that she poisoned him. This voice you're doing has Umbridge vibes. Good, that's kind of what I'm going for, the like extremely posh. Most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down in the Supreme Court's history, thank you. Easy does it. I hope that this is the last time I will have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone. Not at all, not at all. It's just a delight merely to hear you speak, dear lady. And it seems very clear from the testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant. I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what has happened here today. The Minister of Justice? May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Amen. Thanks? Was that a prayer then? Well, you'll have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with the cross-examination now. I expect you've noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much. I'm sure I don't need to remind you, Counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with this witness's testimony, I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear? I'm so mad that she dares to call someone being so clearly victimized a bully. So true. Bestie? You good? Yes, Your Excellency. Then you may proceed with the cross-examination. Slap her in the face! Don't slap yourself in the face, slap her in the face! I think that would actually get you arrested. Like, you slap her in court, you're dead. You are just straight up dead. Okay, Ooh, this is... I'm enjoying this music. Okay, let's just press everything. But his hand was on the searing hot plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't not have noticed.
Do you think so? Let me ask you something. Ever since I arrived in this courtroom, and even still now, the fly on those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open.
Shit.
You can't not have noticed, can you?
Huh? What? Ah! Get fucked, Ryunosuke! What fun! You hadn't realised? The dear lady is absolutely right! As your friend, you've embarrassed me as well as yourself, Ryunosuke! Kazuma! Kazuma! How could you? Why didn't you tell me?
Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose honourable silence over a vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains even imagine such a thing?
Oh yes, I think my tiny brain can! Every time he bonks his head like that, it just rattles around like a pea inside of a lunchbox.
Yes.
Well, I can't!
Anyway... When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast.
Okay.
Yes.
As you testified before, you were drinking carbonated water, is that right? Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at that time, if you remember.
Which explains why he ordered that drink. Correct, waiter?
Exactly as you say, sir. Although...
Although?
Whether or not the professor actually drank any water when I delivered the steak to the table. I'm afraid I don't remember that.
Damn you. I have enough English to understand that, at least, for the benefit of the others, of course. It means bless you!
I think it means the exact opposite.
Anyway, as far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible causes of death besides the gunshot.
Why did it just take a screenshot? What the fuck? Hold up. I think this might be where I would need to do a presentation, but I'm not sure I have anything yet. No.
Yes.
Without leaving a trace?
If someone is shot, or strangled, or stabbed, or thrown from a height. However a person's life is taken, there is always telltale signs on the body.
Quite right, dear lady. As our police forces thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Isn't that right, Inspector Hosonaga? As I've said, I always aim for flawless investigations. There would be physical traces with all those causes of death, it's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark.
If, heaven forbid, you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone exactly how you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it?
Hi, Valerian! How's it going? Is it? Holy shit! I'm excited. I'm so excited. I was just saying to Moose that, like, I really enjoyed the investigations games. They were fun. It is really cool to get back to, like, the original format. This is so fun. I've really been enjoying it thus far.
Oh no, perish the thought, calling such a sweet young lady's innocence into question. On my honor, I, Takatsuchi Aochi, will cut down any who dare cast such aspersions.
I shall save the game. Thank you for reminding me. Investigations 2 and The Great Ace Attorney 2 are my favorites. I'm very excited to get to it. I'm loving the music in this. A way of killing someone that leaves no trace. We need some evidence to back us up here. The Himbo King, you will beat him soon. I think I know who you're talking about and I'm looking forward to it. Yes, evidence.
But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway.
Yes!
Excuse me, there's a himbo? There's got to be a himbo! Inferior? What do you mean by that?
In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at the crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you'll investigate once and that's the end of it. Isn't that so?
Quite right, La Carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after the incident.
Exactly. Which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost.
Excuse me? What the hell just happened?
It doesn't even occur to your naive detectives to try to preserve the crime scene. I'm trying to be as tactful about this as I can, you understand.
Ah, killer blow! This lady is as formidable as she is beautiful. Amazing. He's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Ouchie is finally starting to see sense. I very much doubt that. Still, there's something about what Miss Brett just said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. What do you think, Ryunosuke? I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information. Oh, there's definitely a himbo! As I suspected, she's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a chink in her armor. If you wanted random Sherlock Holmes... Hey! There's our answer, guys! We were wondering about this last time. Kazuma. What, Ryunosuke? There is one thing I noticed, something that's been bothering me. Really? You mean about Miss Brett? Actually, no. Yeah, about how this guy's been acting. About the person standing next to her, Inspector Hosonaga. The detective? Yes, he seemed to react a little strangely to Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant. If it might present an opening, maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on that last statement one more time. You think so, but this time instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective. Alright then, I wonder what Kazuma's thinking. I'll find out soon enough, I suppose, once I press Miss Brett on her last statement again. Beep, beep, beep.
Yes!
Inferior? What do you mean by that?
In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police saw everything found at the crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once and that's the end of it. Isn't that so?
Yep.
Wait.
There.
Which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost.
There it is again. The detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why? Up until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. Things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down. Right, look at him. He's lost in his own thoughts. It's time to pursue the man and his train of thought. Sorry? Pursue? Oh, new game mechanic! I'll explain how to do it now, Ryunosuke. It's all to do with the witness marker. What marker? I guess... Ooh. At the moment we'll focus on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement. Oh, neat! But by moving the marker left and right with A and D, you can turn your attention to other people in the stand. While you're looking at the other witnesses, you'll be able to pursue them with space. If you catch the person at the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people in the stand, take a good look around. So first I should move the marker across with A and D and focus on the detective, then pursue him with space and see what's on his mind. Here we go. It means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital... There. Okay. Okay.
Excuse me.
It wasn't working at first. Yeah! What's the meaning of this? Don't die! Boy, don't die! I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to shock you. Hiro was lost in his thoughts, deeply. Looks like you were thinking about something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say. If there's something you'd like to say, please, share it with the court. What is the meaning of this? It is the delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over, immediately. Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not. The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Bless you. Bless you. I love his little wimpy slaps. Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Don't bone us! Well, yes, if you don't mind. Yes! I would like to speak. Good! The lady is right, our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain. Which is why I, Satoru Hosonaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done! Bitch! You stole shit from the crime scene? Yes! I love him! I love him too, Valerian. I love his design. It's like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Take this, for example. This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now. Ho 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 ho! But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. There's some left in the bottle. It's so poisoned. It's so I called it! I called it! There's some left in the bottle, I can see it. One day, our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming, I guarantee it. Oh. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept the glass bottle of water as evidence. How do you feel about that, Miss Brett? Can you confirm that this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bottle. What's that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question. Very well, counsel, you may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his fervour. Unfortunately, I have no idea what— okay, so... What mistake, blah blah blah. No other possible cause of death. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. I'm guessing now is when I present the carbonated water. Ooh, I can examine it. Nice. Let's see. I mean, it doesn't have— it sure doesn't have a playing card in it, that's for sure. I don't think there's much else here, but... The label's written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Do you know what it says, Kazuma? I think it's French. Must be very expensive water. Yes, but what does it say? That's what I'm asking. Then go to France and ask! You could just say that you don't know. Bickering. This carbonated water is the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had. Looks like there's a little left in the bottle. No, it's just plain water now. You know, I've been sweating so much and absolutely parched. Bestie, don't! I'll just have a sip of this to keep me going! No, Ryunosuke! You can't do that! One thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence. Oh no, you're right! We don't know what might be inside, do we? You never cease to amaze me, Ryunosuke. In more ways than one. I wonder, could there be anything in this water? What's the matter? You've gone all quiet all of a sudden. Fucking, he's got those Phoenix vibes. Let me just look, so far he's doing better than his descendant, who ate a bottle of poison, glass and all. Okay, I'm gonna show it to her now.
Yes!
Hey, the water's— wait, what? Yes! Quite literally, there was a small bottle of poison. Or rather, a small bottle that used to contain poison. And he just crunched it all down. Yep. Phoenix is quite literally the defendant in that one thing, which is like my lawyer wondering why he's losing the case. Me having eaten the evidence. What is this? The bottle of water? Actually, there is one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. At least the bottle was empty, presumably. But there were traces of poison inside it. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. Poison. Yeah, it's the lady's murder weapon. On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? Not only that, but the one glass that still has water in it is next to the stake. Order! Order! And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to slip the poison into his drink? There's only one person who could have possibly done it. Giselle Brett, it was you. Well, she might not have actually drank it.
Objection!
Okay, so there's actually two things I can think of when it comes to like, but she drank it too. One, she didn't drink it too, and that's why there's a glass half filled of water left on the table. Two, and this is some Ace Attorney bullshit, so bear with me. Two, the type of poison that she used doesn't kill you if you simply ingest it. However, the guy in question had just been through a dental surgery and thus had, like, exposed wounds in his mouth. Access to his bloodstream, I guess. But I don't know, that's some Ace Attorney bullshit that I that's a stretch, but I could see them doing it. Suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence. You little rookie imbecile, like, she could drink it and be like, look, it's fine. Drink, drink, drink. Because she has no, like, open wounds in her mouth. You little rookie imbecile, have you ever considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Also, certain chemicals can react badly with anesthetic. That is also a very good point. Have you forgotten that we have only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you even the vaguest inkling what their rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty?
Objection.
This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime. What? The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth. Gah.
Ahem. If I may...
I will silence you. Oh, get his ass! Also, she has the exact voice I gave her, which is great.
It is you who should be silent.
Oh, of course. Dear lady!
Shut up!
Where did that come from? She just snapped. Oh, that's okay, Moose. We're gonna wrap up in a second anyhow.
I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies.
Sorry, my lady, to what are you referring to?
I described your police force as inferior, but no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector, and whether it contained poison or not.
Of course. You did? I feel like you should have mentioned that. Strive for a flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And what did you find, Inspector? I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. We could find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency. Ah, shit. Dicks. Okay, what? Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the Chief Coroner himself. No. No!
I am very grateful to all you Japanese. You've successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you.
But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was all ours. She ran off with the glass? She did. This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, Counsel. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. Whew, okay. I think this is where we're going to wrap it up. As the prosecution have asserted, a shot to the chest from the gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit. Done for. The court wishes to apologise for the great inconvenience that this has caused you, Miss Brett.
Oh no, I'm just glad the matter is resolved.
Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defence. Do you have any further new evidence to present to the court at this point? Cosma? I'm not gonna stream for another hour this time. No, I'm not. Sorry, Ryunosuke. I have nothing more. Well, if you excuse me now, I really must be leaving.
Hold it!
Hell yeah! And with that, we are going to stop.
Tits check.
Thank you for the tits check. Okay. Save. Right there. Yes. I am going to send you guys to the void. Have a fun time in the void. Try to find your way back, I hope. Fish. Yeah, I did get fished right there, right at the end. Voyage is cozy? I believe it is. I feel the same way. Ow! Aw, thank you for the heart! Oh my god! And again, it has completely destroyed the... Look at it! It's all just... There... Oh, there's a bike on my head. Okay, it's gone. Okay. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for the biddies. Have a wonderful time. I will see you guys all on Tuesday, and then I won't see you either... So we will finish this case up on Tuesday. Confirmed. I will stay as long as I need to finish this case up on Tuesday, because I'm not streaming Thursday and Sunday. I will be back on Tuesday, I think. But if I'm not, I will let you guys know via Discord. And then I think that week will also just be on Tuesday. It could be on Thursday. I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing those days. I might actually not be able to do it on Thursday next week. We'll see. We'll see. And then after that I can do things okay for a couple weeks. Okay, more than 200 to crash. Dang it, Nex! You certainly, like, destroyed the actual thing doing it. Alright though, I will see you guys on Tuesday for finishing off this case. Have a fun time in the void, and until I see you guys next time, keep your eyes on the stars, take care of yourself, and don't forget to wear your safety goggles, okay? Bye bye! Wait, where's the button? There.